Progressives are currently gearing up for a platform fight on Israel at the Democratic Convention. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back again with a new video. Today, it is time to talk about the 2024 presidential election because everyone, it appears that the Democratic Party might have a big problem come August as progressives are gearing up for a massive platform fight on Israel and other major issues. Now, I am not saying that there will be a fist fight at the convention. Well, there could be, I guess, but this really is a fight over how pro-Palestine the Democrat Party will be this year. Now, before we continue with today's video, I hope you enjoy these type of videos. If you do, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Again, folks, all support is greatly appreciated, and yeah. Now, this really isn't that big of a surprise. I mean, what do you think the uncommitted campaign was all about? It was about getting delegates at the Democratic Convention that will try, the key word is try, to change the Democrat Party in a way progressives want them to do. That's what this is really about, and that's the thing people don't mention. These are actual delegates. Granted, these are only like, what, 20 to 30 delegates at most? That's like 0.1% of the total delegate share. But these are still going to be delegates that will cause problems on the convention floor. And that was always the plan. Not to win a majority. You were never going to do that. They just wanted a couple dozen delegates here and there at the convention to cause some headaches. Because they want a platform change on stuff like Israel, on other issues that they believe the Democrat Party sucks on. Activists at odds with President Joe Biden over his handling of Israel's war with Hamas are planning to shift the focus of their pressure campaign from the ballot box to the Democratic Party platform at this summer's nominating convention in Chicago. The Biden campaign is anticipating the effort, which could extend a bruising and divisive political battle over several months to the Democratic National Convention, according to multiple activists and party insiders. So they're already prepared for this shit show that could happen in Chicago. But funny enough, this same thing occurred back in 1968. And take a guess which city it happened in. Chicago. You heard that right. The 1968 Democratic Convention, which is notorious for riots, fist fights at the convention floor, that happened in Chicago as well. The parallels are uncanny. Progressive Democrats already have identified a list of issues where they hope to influence the party platform, including calling for filibuster reform in the Senate, declaring a national climate emergency, and ending private funding of elections. Man, these are some real important issues. I mean, name a Democrat that's opposed to any of these. Maybe Joe Manchin, but outside of that, 95% of Democrats support all three of these things. So what's the point? If this is your main focus, that's just stupid. You would think single-payer health care or something on those lines, but this? Filibuster reform where 98% of Democrats support it, and the only reason they haven't gutted it yet is because of Joe Manchin? I don't get why this is their focus. But the war in the Gaza Strip and potential conditions on future U.S. military assistance to Israel is poised to be the most contentious as Democrats prepare for their convention this August. I find it very pathetic that of these four things they want to talk about, only one of them causes some division within the party. That's, of course, the war in Israel. The rest of this? It's like 98% of Democrats support all three of these things. You would never see this in the Republican Party, mind you. Outside of maybe guns, every issue, there's always like 10 to 20% of Republicans at the bare minimum that's opposed to the party's platform. Whether it's abortion, whether it's immigration, virtually anything, there is some serious opposition. Democrats, meanwhile, you have to list off hundreds of things just to find one issue that even remotely divides Democrats, which really should tell you everything about them. It's sad. It's sickening that you have a major party in America which has tens of millions of supporters agreeing on virtually every single issue. That is not healthy. You shouldn't have that. That's not normal. Republicans, like I've said, they disagree on virtually everything. Yes, there might be some support here and there for stuff like guns and all that, but stuff like even abortion divides the Republican Party. Democrats? Nope. Whatever the party says, they support it. We're gearing up for a fight and we're drawing a line in the sand. Though we hope it doesn't come to that, said Joseph G. Vargas, the executive director of Our Revolution, which spun off from Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders' first presidential campaign. In other words, the Bernie Sanders people from 2016, they're running the uncommitted campaign. They're the ones in charge of it. They're the ones negotiating with Democrats. We'll negotiate out as much agreement as possible beforehand so that we can avoid large-scale fights, Vargas added. That being said, if there needs to be a fight on important issues, we'll do it. And I hope so. I hope there's a fistfight at the convention, because not only would that be entertaining, but that would really show how divided this party is on Israel. Now, the fact that this is the issue that suddenly splits a party in half is pathetic, but it was bound to happen. The Democrat coalition tried to combine too much stuff at once, whether it was Hispanics, African Americans, Asians, Native Americans, white progressives, Muslim voters, etc. They try to combine every single voter into one coalition, and it turns out the voters they got, they disagree on an issue like Israel, and that one issue is a hot topic for those communities. That's just a fact. It was going to be a matter of time before the bubble bursts, and right now, we're seeing it. They are prepared for a fight at the convention. The Democratic National Committee has not yet publicly outlined its process for developing the 2024 platform. A DNC spokesperson said that the party will engage diverse voices from across the Democratic coalition. Problem is, how are you supposed to come to a consensus on an issue like Israel? I'm being serious. This isn't like the Republican Party where 90% of the party, or more like 80%, supports Israel. Like, gun-ho, we're going to support Israel no matter what. But the Democrat Party, meanwhile, this is the one issue that the party's 50-50 on. Half the party wants to be more pro-Israel. The other half, pro-Palestine. And these people are not going to budge. So you either have to appease the white progressives, the Muslim voter, etc., or you appease the white moderate. You gotta pick one. The Democratic Party platform will reflect President Biden's vision for how we move our nation forward, Hannah Moldavan, the spokesperson, said in a statement to NBC News, citing domestic issues as well as advancing safety and security at home and abroad. So in other words, they're gonna try to appease the white progressives, the Muslims, etc., if this is true. Because that's what Biden has done, which is pathetic that his entire foreign policy is just now appease Muslims, appease the white progressive, nothing else. Or they're going to try to do what the Biden administration did back in January, where they said, oh no, we're pro-Israel, but at the same time we're pro-Palestine. AKA try to play both sides. Remember how well that worked? It pissed everyone off because the pro-Palestine people said he wasn't doing enough for Palestine. The pro-Israel people, same deal. They were not happy with the Biden plan. Trying to play both sides, it failed. Either way, no matter what you choose here, you're going to alienate a bunch of Democrats no matter what. Biden's vision for how to approach Israel's war with Hamas dramatically differs from a growing number of Democrats, however, including some of the president's closest allies in Congress. Progressive activists want language in the platform that would link future military aid to a ceasefire in Gaza. That ain't happening. If Biden were to do that, that would be political suicide. Yes, people want the violence to stop. Yes, people want civilians to stop dying. But at the same time, people don't want just, Hamas to be let off free. That's what these morons don't understand. They might support a temporary ceasefire. That doesn't mean they support, letting Hamas off the hook for what they did back in October. People still want Hamas dealt with, and they should be dealt with. But progressives think, people want violence to stop. That means they support a permanent ceasefire. A, you're never getting that. Israel and Hamas will never agree to that. But B, Americans don't support that. They want Hamas wiped off the face of the earth, and then we could talk about peace, settling the differences, all of that. After the fact. That divide could set up a clash at a Democrat convention that the party hasn't seen in decades, according to Gia Vargas, who noted that Chicago was the site of the Democrats' infamous 1968 convention when left-wing anti-war protesters clashed with police. He mentioned that part. Very interesting. So there is a chance we could get a repeat of 1968. Which, if that's the case, Biden is done. If there are riots in Chicago, there is, I would say, a 0% chance of him winning. Because at that point, that's just proof that these progressives, Muslims, etc., they're done with him. They're not going to negotiate. They're not going to vote for him. They're gone. But the thing that really fascinates me the most about this situation is how much it relates to 1968. I mean, history's repeating itself at this point. This isn't just a coincidence. This isn't a one-off. This is a full-blown repeat of history. Back in 1968, you had an unpopular war in Vietnam. Right now, an unpopular war in Israel. The Democrat Party is split on the issue, like they were back then. You have anti-war protesters, or I should say anti-war activists, threatening to protest. Same thing happened in 68, and it got violent. You have an unpopular president. It was Lyndon B. Johnson back then, and of course he didn't run again, but the correlations in 1968, they're nearly identical. Plus, you have a major third-party presidential candidate running. Back then it was Wallace. Right now, it's RFK. This is a growing correlation. This isn't just a fluke. This isn't just, it's kind of a funny fact. That's a weird coincidence. Nearly everything that happened back in 1968 is happening again. On top of that, you have Richard Nixon making a huge political comeback on the Republican side. Take a guess who won the Republican nomination. Donald Trump, who you can argue made one of the greatest political comebacks ever. But either way, these similarities in 1968 are just crazy. It's word for word what happened back then. Just replace a couple key figures, a couple key events with what's happening now. And it's nearly identical. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy this video, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Godspeed to all of you.